Hi everyone, welcome tonight. I thought just as a start off, we'd just thank Prem one more time because he actually puts a lot of effort into these events, both in running the Q&As before we even show up tonight. He's done all the questions and the slides, so I'm literally just reading out his slides. No skill on my part, and while also being a dad and everything else that he does. So thanks, Prem. Great. So I thought we'll just start off in a nice, easy area. Which niches, what areas do you currently source, Michael?
So I mainly do cosmetics, also supplements. I have a hot chocolate with caffeine product. That's actually my favorite brand. I put a lot of heart into it, and some others, also like in gardening and really different products, around 120 now and 7 brands. 2018 we hit the 1 million in revenue euros.
Nice.
I think now maybe pound equal.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so you mentioned you have a favorite brand. So how many brands do you have in total?
Yeah, so now we have 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they cover grocery, cosmetics, outdoor.
Outdoor supplements, but
Wow.
mostly cosmetics.
Cool. Okay, so we should come back to this because it's an interesting space.
Yeah.
What made you actually just kind of roll into this? Why sell on Amazon? What's the whole story? How did it all begin?
Well, so I didn't start with Amazon. I, as Prem mentioned, I did some door-to-door sales. Well, actually I didn't because I sold nothing, but I hustled a lot because I read those books, like those entrepreneurial stories and people from door-to-door salesman to a millionaire, and I was really motivated. I was working for IBM,
right? And
after work I went to shops with my product that I bought in bulk, and it just didn't work out.
So you were selling B2B, so you bought the products from a wholesaler somewhere, trying to pitch them into.
Yeah, and didn't work out. I had the products in my attic. 2 years later, I was back in university for a master's, and I thought, okay, I need some money. I have those products in my attic. Let's get them out and start an online shop. And then I started with a blog, just kind of something like Shopify.
Yeah.
And then it took off.
Well, that's great. So what made you think I should sell these online as opposed to just going door to door? Is there anything that triggered that in particular?
I don't really know. Back then I thought it's more motivational to go door to door and see the feedback right away instead of going online, and you don't really, that was my thought. I don't see any feedback. Yeah. But when I actually did online, then I saw people, I had my phone number on the website to get that feedback from people, and then they called me and they told their story, and I really helped them with. My product was more like it might have been a part of the solution, but I never really pushed my product on them.
Well, that's great. So then you're selling on your website, and then that you got some traction on the website, and then you thought, I'm going to go to Amazon now, or?
Yeah, so my business partner came in a year after I started, and then basically I said, hey, you can have my products, you sell it on eBay.
Right.
So he did eBay first, then after 2 years we put it all together, and then after 3.5 years we went on Amazon.
Wow, so this was in what year did you start? And then
2014.
So then in 2017 you started on Amazon. Is that right? Did I do the maths right?
In 2015 we started Amazon.
Nice.
Oh, we started way before online.
That's fantastic. And then did you go straight into your own brand, or did you think, with hair products, did you want to go selling in your own brand, or did you want to go wholesale? What's the?
I wanted to have it very easy at first and simple, and I just bought a product, a branded product, in bulk, and then after 1 year, other companies with similar products, they contacted me and said,
wow.
"Hey, can you bring our products to the German market?"
Wow.
So one company from France, one from Italy, and I sold their products.
Right.
But then I saw, I put a lot of effort into marketing materials.
Yeah.
I did photos, videos, and everything, and then I saw my photos.
Yeah.
In Brazil.
Whoa.
Online in Brazil, and I was like, I'm not doing that work for some other person's brand, and then everyone uses my content, and I don't get anything from him.
Yeah.
It should be the brand owner to do that kind of stuff. And then I said, no, this is not gonna work anymore.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have my own brand.
And then, so what's the process in that? How did you go about developing your own brand? Because I guess you knew what products were selling.
Yeah.
And then, what was the kind of process flow that you went through, especially for the guys who are new?
Yeah.
How did you go from private label to white making your own label?
So first we were looking on different platforms for suppliers. We contacted the suppliers, and basically we were shocked first from the high MOQs.
Right.
So we had to order so much, but then we talked more and more. Some suppliers we actually visited.
Yeah.
And then once they know you're serious and you have sales and you give them the feeling that you're gonna grow, then they lowered the quality, and we were good.
Does everyone know what MOQ is, by the way?
Minimum orders?
Yeah, so the minimum order quantity that you have to order at the beginning just to get the whole process started.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so how did you actually find the suppliers then? Was it the people you'd been selling their products? Did you go back to them, or did you go somewhere new?
No, we so for the first product we actually went on Alibaba, and then we went to trade fairs. Yeah. And we found European manufacturers
at the trade fairs in Europe, or were they overseas?
Yeah, in Europe. And then also, there's a platform in Germany where you can find manufacturers.
Nice.
We Googled.
Yeah.
And now we have different ways to find
the whole lot of them. So we're gonna. I think we'll come back to this, but and then I'm just trying to map out the process flow. So you went from manufacturers, and then did you choose a brand name and the logo, or what stage was that? Was that kind of after you'd found the whole thing, or?
So the brand name I had before for my web shop, and I had this little philosophy for it. I really like Latin names. Yeah. So I chose a Latin name.
Cool.
And then I didn't bother too much about having everything perfect. So the logo, I basically just looked up some logos, and I adjusted a bit here and there, and said, okay, can you combine this and that? I actually did it on Fiverr, and
cool.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yep.
Brand was born. Okay, fantastic. So we'll jump into some of the practical questions. So, in terms of capital, how much money did you invest in the beginning just to get started?
Yeah. So I bought 50 units. That was the first batch.
Yeah, nice. And well, good negotiating. MOQ of 50.
But
that's
those
pretty good.
were branded.
Right.
So that was only like $300. Yeah. And then I put like $200 for like web shop and this and that. I did most of the things I did myself, like some graphic and this and that, because I really didn't bother to have it so perfect. Yeah. It was okay. It looked nice, nobody would be scared off and say, "Oh wow, what is this?
Yeah.
I'm not going to buy anything here."
But it's enough to get the whole process flowing.
Yeah. And then the first year, I would say, I didn't have a big initial investment, but I had a big investment from time and work.
Yeah.
So in the first year, I was a student, so I put like 10 hours a week into it, and I still made 3,000 losses.
In loss. Right.
For the first year, but then the second year I had a good plus, and I actually kind of lived from it already.
And so I guess where was the losses from? Is it from advertising costs, or was it from where did the main costs go to?
So mostly from advertising, and then also to just increase the stocks.
Yeah.
Because if it goes well, people think, oh, then I'm gonna have money. But it can be sometimes when it goes well, you have less money. Because you always need more money to buy more. Because you know, and then I was doing well in the first year. I would be in the plus, but I had to buy more stocks.
So you're reinvesting all the money back into the business. Yeah. But then you're saying by the second year you were making enough to live off.
Yeah.
Nice. So that was all worth it in the trajectory.
Yeah.
Cool. So we kind of did cover this a little bit, but what's your experience? What's the difference between selling on Amazon, eBay, and your own website? What are the key differences? What's the pros and cons of each?
So it's easy to get lost when you are selling on your own web shop, because there are so many things you can do. You can have a blog, you can do this, you can do Google ads.
Yeah.
So it's just too big of a space, and Amazon is really good because it limits what you can do.
Right.
And that's a good thing, because the people are already there. They're already looking for things to buy. And then you have a set amount of things you can do.
Yeah.
And it's easier to master those and then get into sales pretty quick. And so that worked for me.
So webshop versus Amazon, you definitely recommend Amazon.
Yeah.
How does it compare to eBay? What's the sales volume difference? Do you do more on Amazon or on eBay?
Yeah, much more on Amazon, but eBay can be very good. It really depends on the product you're selling. So there's not the one universal right channel. It really depends on the product. eBay is really good if you are very price competitive. Then if you have the cheapest price and you know there's traffic, you can be doing very well on eBay. And people buy things on eBay. They don't need like nice packaging and a branding and everything. So,
but they might need it on Amazon. You're saying
on Amazon, it's much more. You have to be more professional. You have to really invest more time and money in like all those things.
All the little extras.
Yeah.
Cool. So into branching out into other products. So how did it start? So you started with, I mentioned, hair products. How did you kind of move into like supplements or I don't know, like outdoor furniture? That's quite a jump.
Because we always have crazy ideas. My business partners and I, and we actually had this idea to have our own coffee shop as a concept of like a healthy protein fast food restaurant where you can get from the breakfast like protein pancakes, waffles, then like sandwiches and what's it called? KFC calls them twisters.
Like little wraps and stuff.
Wraps, exactly. And we had the wraps out of a protein dough.
Nice. Yeah.
And so we did that, and the main ingredient was protein powder.
Right.
So we were looking for really good protein powder, and we couldn't find what we were looking for.
Yeah.
So we had to do it.
So you sourced it.
So we had to source it ourselves, and then I lived in Ireland before, and I knew they have the best milk.
Yeah.
So the best protein powder, whey protein, would be from the best milk.
Nice.
And that's how the second product line of product
came about.
came about. Yeah.
And then again, how did you find those suppliers? Was that the same method? Trade shows, calling around, Google?
I basically just Googled protein. Do you call it manufacturers now?
Yeah, manufacturers.
Dairy industry, Ireland, private label.
Yeah.
Took a while, but then I found some names, and then I just really called them up, sent emails. Hey, this is our idea.
Yeah.
Can you help us? And
nice.
Well, out of 5, we had 4 no's.
Wow. So they said we won't supply you.
Exactly, but 1 said yes, and that's enough.
And that was it. The rest is history. Yeah. Nice. So this is like a really interesting question from Prem. So he's kind of asking. So obviously we kind of talked about the genesis of these, but why particularly these areas? Because they can be kind of highly regulated areas of food. Food is quite regulated, especially baby stuff. So what is there a reason why you moved into those spaces? And
so I really like products that are rebought regularly, because if you get someone to like your product, that someone will
keep coming.
And so supplements, cosmetics, that's the case with those kind of products. And there are regulations, but if you source from Europe, it's all on the manufacturer side. So we're looking for certifications just in case, but we never had an issue. So we also source not many products, but some products in China.
Right.
Can be more complicated because then you are you're liable for your products because you're importing from out of the union, and that's a different case, and then can be much more complicated.
Okay, so I guess the next question kind of like answers. So how do you ensure the safety standards? So in the EU, it's the liability is with the manufacturer. But how do you do that with international manufacturers?
So with international, you can first of all you have to ask, hey, do you have those certifications? Can you do it? Some Chinese mostly never say no. And I was in China myself, and I know how they say yes. So for example, I was looking for a manufacturer for one product, and I visited 5 of them.
Right.
And all of them said we have the certifications. Some of them, they were old. Some certifications, one actually told me, oh, the brother of the owner of the company, he has a company and they have the certification. So we can change the name on it. And I said, no, but that's not how it goes. And there's a way you can, even if they have it, it could be faked. But you can check with, what's it called? So there are some companies that are very renowned, and they have affiliates in China, and then you can contact them and work with them and
check it there. Cool. Okay. So this is like a key one, I guess, for anyone who's kind of starting out wanting to find a supplier. How did you find some EU manufacturers?
I even find suppliers just walking in the streets of some cities. Like
really?
I live in Porto, in Portugal.
Right now?
Well, I live in London and Porto, and I walked around in the old town, and I saw this little shop with they make brushes, like big brushes, brooms, but also like shaving brushes. And I was looking for something like shaving brushes. I just went in, I said, oh, I really like them, and could you do that in a higher amount? And he said, well, ours are kind of luxury, but I have a friend and he owns a company, like a bigger manufacturing.
Yeah.
But not too big also.
Yeah.
And then he just he called. He said, "Oh yeah, he wants to meet you," and he set us up to meet the next week. And yeah, we visited, and it was really
shaving
nice.
brushes.
Yeah, shaving brushes.
There you go. So just walking the streets of Porto.
Yeah, online research. I have this little hack that we're looking for, let's say, well, shaving brushes.
Yeah.
Then I would go online with a VPN.
Yeah.
And I set it to, let's say, Czech Republic. And then I translate the word shaving brush, private label.
Right.
Or just shaving brush and private label in English. And then I put it into Google, but the Czech Google.
Yeah, right.
And then I get the best results, because if you do it without the VPN, you're not virtually in the country.
Yeah.
And you get only the bigger ones.
Yeah.
And the bigger ones are most of the time they are too big.
Yeah.
And with that little hack, you really get those.
Nice.
I would say gemstones. You know?
Yeah. Did you guys write that down? Because that's a great one.
Yeah. And trade fairs are great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there are oftentimes like new players in the industry.
Yeah.
And they are oftentimes very approachable.
Yeah.
By like young entrepreneurs or just
what
small sellers.
What are some really good questions to ask when you meet like a potential supplier? What are some key questions that you make sure you ask them? Are there any?
I really just ask everything about where they are located, how do they work, what kind of customers they have, and I want to see this passion for what they do. Yeah. And most of them, they have it. Like, yeah, you actually have to kind of stop them from talking too much. That's most of the time what I'm looking for. And do you visit all the manufacturers' sites, or how do you decide if you're going to go visit them, and what do you look for when you visit them? Yeah, I really want to have it personal, because I don't want to just sell anything. Yeah. I want to know the manufacturer, and I turned down some manufacturers because I didn't feel they had the same values that I do. And if it feels dodgy, then it's not a good fit. It might be the cheapest, but you want to. Cheap is oftentimes, it can be more costly in the long run. Because then you have problems coming up, and problems can cost a lot of money. Yeah. And it's also, it's more fun to know the manufacturer. Yeah. And if you feel like, oh, this is a good person in general. Yeah. I have the feeling, okay, a good person won't make bad products. Yeah. Just for making money. And that's really why I'm doing this. Yeah. I want to earn money, but in a good way. That I can sleep well and have a good feeling. It doesn't matter what I sell. Like, that's I think oftentimes a question that people, when they start a company or they start selling, or they are thinking about it, they want to identify themselves with the product. Yeah. And I even sell hair extensions. Yeah. Well, I don't wear hair extensions, but I can get into it because that's a product I can dive into the world of the customers who buy the products, and that's the ability that you have to have. Identifying yourself with a product might make it easier, but it's hard enough to find a good product that sells. Yeah. And if you limit that to only products you identify yourself with, that's going to be difficult, I think. Cool. Okay, it's great info. So, Pre mentioned that you sell mainly in Germany. What are the key differences between here and there, and how are you finding it? So I think Germany is actually the biggest, the best market for Amazon. Wow. Because it's quite big. It's the second biggest after the US. And the competition is there's competition, but it's not as harsh as in the UK or in the US, just because of the language.
Yeah.
But if you really look at it, you can use virtual managers, you can have translators for the descriptions, and then just in the Amazon dashboard, it's not a big difference. You can set it to English and
you're on your way.
Yeah, it's really easy. And then in the UK is a good market, but there are so many competitors for less customers than let's say in Germany. And I think in that case Germany
fair enough. So what are the key things that customers are looking for from a customer's perspective? What are they looking for? Are they more price sensitive? Do they like promotions? Do they like quality? What are the key differences?
Yeah, so I had this one example that I observed. It was an American company for cosmetics. It was called Something Natural.
Right. And
they started off really big.
Yeah.
They had those huge promotion, buying a lot of reviewers. Back then it was easier also, but they had like 100 reviews after a few weeks.
Yeah. And
they were a bestseller in like multiple products.
Yeah.
And after a month later, they were gone.
Wow.
So they were kicked out of the market because they advertised everything with natural, but there are regulations for natural cosmetics.
Yeah.
And then also the reviews went bad.
Wow.
Because people, Germans, they are, but in America, really, it's so big.
Yeah.
That's the same brand in America sells until today. They are so successful.
Wow.
And in Germany, they failed.
Zero.
Because people, they turn the product and they see, wow, all those ingredients, and they don't sound natural.
Yeah.
And they gave bad reviews. Because, maybe they look further than just nice packaging and nice words.
Okay, that's cool. It's interesting. So the good takeaway is basically, I guess, be aware of the different, consumer niches there, or the consumer demands for each of those.
But price sensitive, I would think people are
about the same.
Sometimes it's even better to have. I like to be in the mid range, not the cheapest, not the most expensive.
Cool. Okay. So other than Germany, where else do you sell? Are there other marketplaces you sell?
So we sell in all the European marketplaces, and we also did sell on the US market.
Yeah. Not anymore?
Yeah. Not anymore. Well, we sell through a distributor.
Right.
Because for us it's much easier that way. Accounting was so difficult.
Is it taxes, right?
Yeah. Tax was difficult. Then sending in the products.
Yeah.
It was a bit difficult. I think the US market is really great because it's so huge.
Yeah.
But it's
this tax, the
we were
the
a
admin
bit
side
dreamers.
is high.
We aimed very high.
Yeah.
Maybe too high for that time.
Will you go back? Do you think you might go back to the US?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
But with American partners. And I'm working on that.
Yeah.
I really like also the smaller marketplaces in Europe.
Yeah.
Because they have a lot of opportunities. They're growing. People are not as far into the process of buying online.
Yeah.
So more and more people go online. And the market is growing a lot.
Yeah.
And there are much less competitors. So if you go to Italy, then you might find so many opportunities.
Yeah.
And the same product in the UK or Germany would be already
like a lead
flooded with brands.
Nice. Okay, so that kind of segues quite nicely into Prem's next question. So, what are the plans for 2020? What do you have in?
So I'm planning to buy a house.
Nice.
In the Algarve.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. Very
so
international.
I can stay there, surf,
yeah.
be at the beach in the nature, and when I live here, I can rent it out.
Yeah.
That's my plan, and then also I have a lot of new products coming up.
Mm-hmm.
We've been working on the last year.
Yeah.
And I want to work more with other people, partnering up, and because I really see, okay, we were 3 people in our little company, and you can do so much more if you partner up with others. And now I'm in the position that I feel very confident just to guide someone, versus I always had to do everything myself.
Yeah.
So
by partner up, what do you mean? Do you mean like help someone else get off the ground, or do you mean join your business, buy a product, a brand, create a brand together?
Yeah, so creating a brand, even I have some friends in the US I'm partnering up. Yeah. They have some experience in e-commerce, and we just want to do a new brand.
Yeah.
And
nice. Yeah. Just add to the collection.
Yeah.
Like Pokemon. All right, that's cool. And I have one other question I was actually just picking up on. So how did you find your US distributor as well?
The US distributor, he was like in the industry, he was the benchmark, the best one.
Uh-huh.
And I contacted him, talked on the phone.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, your products are they're in good demand, but they're not represented very well. And I'm gonna make the listings nicer. And he was for
free. So you were like, I'll help you out. And then
for a good price.
Yeah.
I told him I need a good price for a low amount, but you're gonna have good listings for all the products, and that worked out well. And
nice.
I visited them. They are in Utah.
Yeah.
It's and then Utah. Yeah. I was so surprised. It's a paradise for private labeling.
Really?
Yeah. You know, some of you might know Blender Bottle. It's really big in the fitness industry. They're from Utah.
Right.
And I was like driving down the road, and I saw this and this, and then I googled for like cosmetic manufacturers, so I wouldn't have to
import it in.
Export my products to the US, but just have it produced there for that market.
Yeah.
And I found a couple of them.
Nice. So let's go to Utah, guys. That's the trick. Cool. And so this is my final question, and then we'll open to the floor, which is, so if we were to jump back to when you were starting in 2014, what would be your key bits of advice for young Michael?
My key advice would be to to just do it, and not bother too much about having everything perfect, and don't take too much risk. Try something small. If you sell something in a small scale, you can do another project after that in a bigger scale.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it necessarily in dimensions of 1,000.
Yeah.
I know I could give you a product idea right here.
Yeah.
And it would cost like 300 euros to make it. It's buttermilk powder. So you can buy it in wholesale in big, like 25 kilos. And then you can repack it. You can even go to a bakery and ask them, hey, could I do it here, or could you repack it into my doy packs? And then out of 25 kilos, you will have, let's say it's 500 gram. You'll have enough to start with. And then you can do a blog. Buttermilk powder is good for pancakes. But it's also for do-it-yourself soaps.
Nice.
And imagine how much you can do on soaps. Doing your own soaps, and out of this little product, you could already make a big one. And on Amazon, you can do the research. It's still small.
Yeah.
There are some brands, but they're not very professional.
Yeah.
There you go.
Nice. There you go, guys. Nugget. There you go. Cool. Well, let's open to the floor. Do you guys have any questions?
I've got some questions. In terms of your brands, would you say you focused on only keeping them on Amazon, or have you as well got, like, let's say, an Instagram page, Facebook groups? Is it outside of Amazon as well?
It depends what your product idea is, but if you want to keep it simple and small, I would start with Amazon. So let's keep the example of buttermilk powder. I would create a brand, don't bother too much about it, make it nice in your way, and put it on Amazon, do everything that is taught in all the podcasts and everything. Then you're gonna see sales coming in up to a point, and then you reach a plateau, and then you have to drive in traffic from outside. So first thing is a blog, you tell, or you do a video about how to make soap from buttermilk powder, and you go on Instagram for other products, especially before and after kind of products, is very good. For other products, it's not as good. So that's it. The buttermilk powder, I would say it might not be the best as a starting point, but then teaming up with like influencers who are big into cooking and stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool, thanks. One and then two, sorry.
Could you take us back to 2014 in terms of launching and how much you were focused on getting your product to page one or mastering the category?
Yeah.
What were kind of your strategies then, and how they then until now, what kind of principles and groundwork that you still use today? Do you mind repeating that?
Yeah. So the question is, just in case, it's what are the key principles from 2014 that have continued on in boosting your products to the first in the category of the first page? Is that right?
So back then we were pretty novice, and we just put it on the platform on Amazon, and because we had already established brand, people buying from the other platforms, eBay and the web shop, it was just more convenient for them to buy it from Amazon, and they were looking for it already, and then sales came in. We always, until today, I don't really use any tools. I just start from where the customer starts, typing in what you're looking for. And then I use all the bullet points in the best way possible, and the title, always from the perspective of the customer, not the very technical perspective, because the technical perspective might get all your keywords in, but then it might not give a very activating presentation. So you want the customer to buy the product. So the most important thing is to think of the customer, to activate him to the sale, because then you play the algorithm in the best way possible. Because if your product has good conversion, Amazon gives you traffic. Until today, I sometimes have no launch process. I put in a product, Amazon gives me traffic out of nowhere, and it performs well. They give me more traffic. I just always have to keep the right amount of stock in, and that's it.
So you're less technically focused. You're not really thinking of tools or thinking of merchant words or anything to your product at all.
So I really don't use any tools. I look. So when you type in a search term, it gives you suggestions. I use those, and then I really get into the head of the customer. What could he also look for? Because then you can establish new connection that Amazon or the tools wouldn't even know. Let's say the buttermilk powder is not yet used for soaps, but then you could look at soap. I don't know, those equipment to make soap, and put your buttermilk powder by using PPC and by using the right keywords of that soap equipment into your bullet points. You establish a new connection by doing that, and this worked really great for me, and no tool will ever tell you this.
Makes sense, guys? Sorry.
I was wondering, did you ever fear that your manufacturer might just sell one of your 120 products themselves, or how did you deal with potential copycat when you first implemented your
So just in case you missed it, so the question is, were you ever afraid that one of your manufacturers would start selling your product directly and kind of cut you out of the loop? Sorry?
Yeah, that's a big risk. Especially, I see that a lot with Chinese manufacturers, and that's one of the reasons I work more with European ones and American ones, because you can establish more personal relationship, and I never had that problem. A strong brand is a good way to avoid, and then also packaging, if you can manage to make your packaging unique, because otherwise if the manufacturer uses the same packaging and sells it to 12 other brands, well, customers are not stupid, they see that's exactly the same product, and then it's hard to tell them, well, but ours is branded. Yeah.
Nice. Cool. A friend here, and then at the back.
So first I just want to say I love that, and it seemed very important to you to understand the customer's problem, your supplier's problem, whoever you're dealing with. It seems incredibly important to you to understand where they're coming from, which I think is a great thing to have in a business. You should deserve to do well when you do this. Do you ever split test? It sounds like you have a real natural flair for marketing, but do you ever split test your headlines, your bullet points and things like this? Or?
Yeah, I should do more technical measurements, and I do split tests, but not very formally. And it's one of my plans for this year to get more into the technical aspects, because I think we're like at 80%, but the last 20%, that's exactly what you get from that kind of professionalism. So.
Is that cool? A friend of that?
Yeah, talking about packaging, do you use multi-language packaging, or do you translate every single one of them to the specific market?
So the best results you get with really single language packaging, and there are some manufacturers that I found they will do, let's say you have a carton box, they print it on a kind of like a big sheet, and then they cut it, so you pay the same as if it was only one box design, and that's a very good way to do it. Otherwise, I do mostly German and English. I'm just gonna sell it to France and Italy. French, they are more specific about it. They do want it in French, and I had it in reviews. They say the packaging wasn't in French. Italy, Spain, I didn't have that. Yeah, it's always good to seem local, but you don't necessarily have to be.
private label products, do you find that they have a limited lifespan regarding profitability? Because if you launch a product and you get it from a manufacturer, obviously they can come into the market as well, and people can see it's successful, so they're going to come in and try to do something very similar. So you see your profits per year start to decline rather than increase.
So I don't have that problem a lot, because the products that I sell, I always have something unique about it, and if they copy it, I already come up with the next product, and then I bundle those products, so people want to keep with that, and I decrease the price. So because then when I'm, let's say, a first mover to the market, I already have a good amount of sales, and I can order more products, which will decrease the price. But I see that problem a lot with the very typical scheme of how to start an Amazon business. You look up Alibaba, you take one of those products. If you're quick and if you have the right sense of, oh, this could be a trend, you're gonna make good money at first, but then definitely there will be a decrease, and it might not suffice to for you to have a higher quantity purchasing power, because the manufacturer has the best power, has the superpower, and then if the manufacturer goes onto the market themselves, what can you do? Yeah.
How much do you see the split that you're an e-commerce business versus a manufacturing business?
I myself am
or work in manufacturing as
Yeah.
well as e-commerce. So sort of what split do you see for you and the business? Because you sound like you really work with supplier to design your product and improve your product, which is manufacturing, and it doesn't matter if you're an e-commerce or an outlet. So I just wondered how you saw the split as well.
That's exactly, I think, what we all should pursue to do, is to be the middleman connecting the manufacturers to the market. And the manufacturers oftentimes they have a perspective of how something has to be out of a technical view. And sometimes I have arguments, because I say, no, the people want, let's say, no silicones in the shampoo, and then the manufacturer says, yeah, but it's really great for the hair, it makes it soft, and people love that. And then I say, yeah, but can't we replace it with something? And then the manufacturers, sometimes they are, I wouldn't say lazy, but they don't necessarily want to change the ways how they work, because it makes a lot of more costs at first. But then you have to research. I even researched, like, what can you replace this and that? I have no idea about the chemical substances or natural, but then I find it out. It's so easy with Google, and then you can really make a case for your situation. And once you have the trust of your manufacturer, then that's exactly what they need. Yeah.
So regarding your shampoo, I'm assuming that you sell shampoo, right?
Yeah.
So it's manufactured in China?
No.
Okay, so it's manufactured here?
In Europe.
Europe, okay. All right, because my question was, because you have to have it approved and assessed here with the right ingredients and everything, and the source of everything that goes in, it has to be EU approved.
Yeah.
So you don't manufacture it in China?
No. Cosmetics I wouldn't source from outside the EU. Yeah. Because especially if you start off, I would not recommend you to do something like that. Even if you get all the certifications and everything, it's just so difficult. And even if you have the certifications, you're still liable. So that makes a big difference. You could almost even source from Europe and not really care about the certifications so much, because it's really the responsibility of the manufacturer. If something happens, the manufacturer will be the one who has to. Yeah.
Yeah, please.
Did you have to deal with the variation in currency exchange rate anytime? Or how do you deal with international?
Yeah.
Was it significant?
Yes. So yeah, we spend way too much money on that until we found. Can I say that?
Go for it. Yeah, please go for it.
Transferwise. So yeah, it's just wonderful. The costs, they decrease by a lot. Yeah, they even work with Chinese. And I try to keep all the currencies. So let's say when I sell in the UK, I keep the money in British pound and I don't convert them. Yeah. Same with the dollar. And,
different accounts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to find out whether you've ever used the Jungle Scout before?
Have you ever used Jungle Scout?
No.
Oh, okay. What about the what's the other one? The jumps test, to where you could kind of get some coupons by there and you use that?
No.
Oh, you don't want to do that. I'm just trying to. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, buddy.
When you have an idea of a product, like you said for the whey, you said Ireland has good milk, so you do research based on a country. Like some countries have better products, like quality-wise.
Yeah.
So how would you determine?
So now it really comes from experience, because I travel a lot and I lived in different countries. But then I also always try to speak to people, and like networking events like this one, you always find also people from more the manufacturing side, and I walk around the streets and see what the high fashion brands have, what's in style. I watch a lot of TV. Reality TV, this and that, like really different kind of things, because then you get a feeling for what's going on in the world. And I watch some Brazilian series on Netflix, and UK, American, from Germany, from France. Then you really get a picture of different things.
Culture, what's trending. People like.
Cool, guys. So I think if there's no more questions, we'll wrap it up, and then feel free to stay, mingle, network, chat to Michael, get his autograph, find out how he's become a digital nomad by the sounds of things, and yeah.
Can I just ask you a quick one? How much do you care about Brexit? Have you done any Brexit proofing, or are you just going to see what happens?
Well, personally, it's not so good for me, but then also I see opportunities coming with that. So maybe the pound will be getting stronger. The economy could get stronger. Nobody knows. I would not listen to horror scenarios either way. Personally, it's not good for me. Business-wise, who knows? So I keep an open mind, and well, with stocks, with products in stock, it's a bit of a bummer, because there's definitely going to be a time when it's going to be complicated, but everything is manageable, I think.
So I've got one last question.
Yeah, sure.
I don't want to end this on a downer.
No, it's fine.
I just wanted to know what your opinion is about China and the virus that's going around, and if that's affecting orders and sales and all that stuff. I don't know if you've got any opinion.
Well,
your thoughts about that.
Yeah.
I think the virus, not sure about that, but I feel like, speaking about trends, there's kind of a anti-China vibe coming from the US also, but Europe is, we often copy or mimic what's happening in the US. So speaking of, like, as a business owner, speaking about trends, I wouldn't bet on products from China. I feel like there's a big opportunity if you're coming out with products and you say it's made in UK, it's made in Europe, you have a much better opportunity. And I think it's going to get worse with made in China, because now we're really at a brink of a trade war, and it's not just ending with trade war, it's really getting into the minds of people, I think.
Cool, guys. Before we get too geopolitical, let's should we wrap it? And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to stay behind, network, mingle, and then if you're not in the WhatsApp group, jump on the WhatsApp group that Prem set up. If you don't have the link, get in touch with me and I'll send you the link. If you have any questions, want to join one of these mentoring groups, let us know as well. Yeah, thanks guys. Cheers.